3 p.m. Monday, and that can only mean one thing. That's right. Randall Santa Checker Lee is in the house. I'm Bob. This is the Bob Randall and Company live show.
Yes,
Tell
it's
them what,
that time again, everybody. It's crazy. It's that time again. Woo!
man. I tell you what, this last week between the Monday show, the Tuesday show, the Crinkle Brothers on Wednesday, and then Santa's Magical Fellowship group with Santa Mel and her fellowship, and then following that with Wingnut. Man, has it been a whirlwind of a week this last week? And we get to do it all over again this week.
Man, it's just like it's Thursday, Friday, boom, it's the weekend. It's already here.
Oh, I
Do it
know it's
all
crazy.
over again.
It sneaks back around to
Incredible.
us. And, staying busy in between helps the time go by fast. I know you mentioned in the green room that you put in a full day yesterday, first long day that you had back performing. And I know it
Yeah,
feels good to get back in the saddle, but I bet you're tired today. I know I am.
man, it was. I had a ride. I did 6 hours at Toledo Zoo, walk around magic shows and puppetry, and I'm not used to walking around 6 hours on cement again. And but hey, it's great. It's I can't be more thankful I'm doing it again. So, I've done a few daycares the last few weeks or so, about a week or so, but that's quick. That's a couple hours. So, but
Yeah,
man, it's
and
I'm very very lucky.
I realize this is something you've done most of your life, but you had a little bit of a spell there where you had to sit out, and now getting your legs back into you. Well, 6 hours, that's a big jump from 2 hours. That's triple time there.
Yeah, but so is the pay.
Oh goodness. Well, we're glad to see you're feeling better. You're doing
Uh,
good. You're outperforming, doing what you love
yeah,
most, and we're always excited to have you here on Monday with us. And
I was happy to
you
be
know,
here and
it's
seeing everybody.
it's weather time. We always like to talk about our weather, but hey, the only thing I can say is it's freaking hot here. We do have storms around us again. We had a couple of days with no storms anywhere in sight, but today they've last night they started building back up in the Panhandle of Texas, and we've got a few popping up around us this afternoon. I think we only got a 30% chance today, tomorrow, and the next day, but you know, uh, all that does is make the humidity rise. Right now it's not quite as muggy out there as it would be if it was raining. So trade off is less humidity, more dry heat, but the heat is heat. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, heat's when it's 100 degrees. That's still heat. That's still all the south and the west have really been bombarded with the heat. It's just been outrageous the amount of heat they've had out there.
That's what we put up with down here in the south and the west and the Gulf Coast states. Had to put up with the humidity most of the year. So it's a give and take. You guys have nice weather at times up there, and we wish you could bottle it up, send us a little bit, but it
A
don't
lot of
work
times
that
we
way.
have that horrible weather up here too. We have that snow, and I don't think you want us to bottle that snow up to send it down.
Well, once a year, about 2 or 3 inches wouldn't be too bad because it'd be gone within 48 hours or 24 hours. So
Yeah,
we can handle it once a year. But
once a year.
well, and I'm sure when you look back in your lineage and you look at where your ancestors traveled from to get to America and the route they take, from Ellis Island down, either north to Canada, west to the west coast or to the deep south. They all had a plan. They thought, well, this is the weather I think I want to go to, be uh, put a life together in. Boy, I'm cussing my roots right now. I wish they had just went a little bit further
Oh
north,
no,
just a little bit,
little bit just to have that little variety, and,
a
and you
little
know,
bit of change of seasons. Yeah, exactly.
man, oh man, yeah, it's yeah, we were in the 40s last night. My heat went on. We were in the 40s,
Yeah,
yeah, and it's crazy to say we're upper 60s is all we were today. This is why I
I
got
seen.
the old sweatshirt on. It was but that's all
I
right. It's
saw. I saw where
80 and
Benny had said it was 61 this morning. He had turned the heat on
hmm,
in Toronto. So
yeah, it'll be in the 80s in a couple days. I think Wednesday's supposed to be 82, so we're
exactly.
fine. I can live with
Hey, the next 60 days come and go, and then you're right back into that wintertime pattern, starting to break into the into from the north towards the south, and you guys get it a lot quicker than we do. We always are excited when that first cool front comes through in October. So
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Thinking it's already summer's already over already. I mean, summer doesn't start for what a week yet till the 20th, or 21st.
yeah,
Technically, the official summer, but then to think, uh, then to think we're thinking about it's going to start getting cold already. I don't want to think about that yet. I've enjoyed enough of this beautiful weather, and these long days are wonderful. Gosh, they're great.
that's what I
Oh
love the most.
man,
It's the long days. You know, that time changing, it's really gotten old. Most of the country is tired of it. Of course, Arizona had the right idea. They just stay on standard time year round, so they don't have to mess with it. But it is nice to have an extra hour or so in the evenings and in the summertime when you can get out and starts to cool down just a tad from when the sun sets and do a couple of things. So anyway, again, trade off.
yep,
All
that's
right.
what. And everybody's got their own what they like and don't like. Some people love snow. Some people hate it. Some people can't get away from the heat. So it's all where you want, and it's also employment. What works for you that way, and family.
Well, and,
So
and Deanna Golden and Kim Golden, they have the right idea. They, of course, live in Arizona during the winter.
and then
And when the summer rolls around, they go to the upper, peninsula.
way northern Michigan, Upper Peninsula. Yeah, they're Upers at during the summer, and that gets
They've
they
they've
better
got
leave
it right.
before October because there's snow in there in October usually.
Yep. All right, Randy, let's go ahead and let's get into these hot topics that we have today. You ready?
Yes, sir. Well, it's
All
great
right,
to
Randy,
see
we got some
everybody.
good ones again today for them. Let's go ahead and throw it out there and see what we get.
This is actually a hypothetical, but also a true question all in one, because it was posed here in the Michigan area. A national sports team wants over 50 Santas and Mrs. Clauses to come there and sit in a section, all dressed up for a Christmas in July promo. I think it's got to be a photo op's got to be phenomenal if you think about it that way. But how do you feel that it affects the children or the game during that? If there's 50 or so plus all red in one part of the section, and there's all these Santa's Mrs. Clauses, and how do you explain it to the children when they do see multiple Santas and Mrs. Clauses? We go to our conventions and we go out to eat and they see us and we say certain things, but this is at a national, it's going to be televised. It's going to be, it's uh, it's a little different, I think, than us going out to our luncheon and there's 25, 30 Santas and Mrs. Clauses at a thing. This is a little different to me.
Yeah,
How
and
do you know?
that's one of those questions that you're going to get different answers from different folks. There are some in our industry that are really staunch traditionalists when it comes to the protecting the image of Santa. I know personally several that think that Santa should only show up around Black Friday and December 24th. He goes back to the North Pole, and you don't hear from him again until Black Friday. They don't work any July events at all. When they do go to Santa gatherings and they come to our gatherings, they wear no red. They don't look like Santa. They dress down the best they can. And if a child speaks to them, they just smile and wave. They won't interact with the children. And then there's others that go full blast, and jump right in and ho 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 and what do you want for Christmas? And so at a sporting event, that many in public with a larger crowd, it could be a distraction. Uh, if it's something that carries on during the game. Now, if it's pregame ceremonies or there's something they're invited back, after the game for a photo op or something of that nature, that it wouldn't affect the game, I don't think. But The question has always been and always will be, what do the children think?
That's what I'm more concerned that way than anything. That it's got to be. I mean, we all do Christmas in July. A lot of people do, so I understand that. It's promotional items. That's no problem. It's what do the children think? Because you're also not gonna. If we go to a restaurant, we'll say, "Well, the real Santa's here. You decide." They'll ask which one's Santa. So then you can kind of do that rather quickly. You look at a section of a ballpark, and and there's just a bunch, and you probably won't have that interaction. If you do, then it's distracting from the game that the children and families are coming over to talk and everything else. So
And I
just
can see where that could happen all throughout the game, as folks see someone go over, then it starts a chain reaction, and once one's done it, then more want to do it. Again, it would be nice if the PA announcer would say, "Hey, we have a group of Santa's helpers here. Uh, they're here to take in the ball game. Santa has given them the day off uh, from training or whatever," and kind of put a little meat in there for
yeah,
folks to understand better
better what's
instead of
going
just
on.
letting
Why?
their mind run rapid. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, that's
And of course, most adults understand; they know what's going on. But the children, again, are the ones that don't, and they get confused. And so maybe with a little bit of a, like I say, a little bit of an announcement, to kind of help set things into
mhm.
motion the proper way might be a good idea.
Yeah. You would probably need them to kind of put a lay a foundation about what's going on.
Mhm. I
So
agree.
well, good, good. We got a couple of people. Parker's saying, "I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of those multiple Santa events." Um, and that's I I agree, and it just as long as it doesn't. There's a lot of places that don't have a lot of children that can work out good, but sometimes it's just confusing for them. Um, Parker Odell says it would be so confusing. One solution I heard is the real Santa's hidden there. Those events is sorry, I heard is the real Santa is hidden and those events, and that is way he goes undercover. So the real Santa's there somewhere, and that's what I know we do a lot. If you're sitting at a luncheon and there's 20 Santas or 30, whatever it might be, if the child comes up to the restaurant. But if you're at a section at a ballpark, unless they come over to you, are the other 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people at the stands knowing what's going on. So, but um, Rex, good to see you. I always tell the children, I'm sorry, I'm not good at that word. Conspirial whisper, that they can just learn one Santa's great secrets, and that his brother and how he gets into the houses one night, that he knows he must keep the secret. We got to keep the secret alive anyway. So if the children come over, but that's the thing is sometimes the children might not come over. They kind of wonder what's going on. Um, AJ, two Santas in one place is confusing. I saw another Santa at Akron Rubber Ducks Christmas and July event and told him I was another Santa. And he said to keep and bring Christmas magic. And that's what we've got to do. And because we know that we can't go to another event and watch another Santa. So we're very it's surprising. We're very concerned about that. Very concerned about that we can't go to another Santa's event and watch or kind of mix and mingle or be there. But we this might be okay. So I'm just kind of curious. Um, Santa Doug, I am not opposed to the events throughout the year, but not a fan of the multiple Santas together, other than mainly training and conventions, etc. That was from Santa Doug. Charlie Johnson. Charlie, hello. I would use the same stories. I attended Santa convention. Santa's here. He is with his cousins uh, to get together, sort of a family reunion. One of the real Santas is here, and you determine which one it is. And that's what we've been saying. That's to me, about the only real line you can use. But again, you've got to get that child over there and explain to them. And in an event, you might not be able to. Um, Another one from Santa Doug. What would you do if one of your clients' children who believes you are the real Santa sees you with a group of other Santas? Well, that maybe that goes back to the idea about they still think you're the real Santa and those are the rest of your cousins. They're just family. So maybe that's what you could use that line, I guess. Doug Wright. Hello, Doug. Um, it's hard enough for kids today to believe in Santa. Having a lot of Santas dressed up all in red is just going to confuse the kids and seeing it. Plus, about the kids to just see a group from afar, uh, you have to depend, and then it stops. Sorry, I don't know what the next is. Whatever the next thing is, just the wording stops. Sorry, can't read anymore, Doug. Sorry. Um, but yeah, it's Steve Kinley says yeah, that's true, Steve. The Tigers can use all the gifts they can. They're less than 50, but they can use all the gifts they can from Santa. That is true. But that is Mike and Bob said it's very true. That's the most concern is the children and what they're thinking. So
Got
just
another one there from Parker Odell too,
I
Randy.
can't see them on the. They're not coming up on my screen.
Yeah,
Oops, I
that's
got
the
to get
trouble we're
back.
having. Since I am younger, I never have these problems because I am not great, but this will be a future problem for us younger Santas.
I think there was one on YouTube also.
Okay, one on YouTube. Let me see. I'm not sure what we got here. Steve Kinley High actually made it for the start. Tigers could use. Okay, Randy's already addressed that one.
Okay.
Tigers could use a gift from Santa's can bring. Okay, so we'd already addressed that one.
Yeah, so that was just concerned. It was somebody posted a thing and they sent a thing out a couple weeks ago looking for this concept to happen at a local stadium. So I was kind of
Yeah.
curious how everybody feels about it and how you appease or the children. So it like you said, it's harder and harder for the children to believe now. They're getting younger and younger. They believe, they stop believing sooner. So to keep
Yes.
that magic alive as long as we can, um, we don't want to throw that out there unless we have to. So
Yeah. And I address this real quick. We're kind of having trouble with comments again because ever since April 22nd, when the third party apps quit being able to push through Facebook is not sending the Facebook comments to our StreamYard. We've tried to deal with this now for several weeks. We've looked at different workarounds. So we're having to open up a separate uh, window with Facebook so we can keep up with the comments, and they're kind of coming and going, and so it's not a real good workaround so far, but we're trying to make the best of it. So be patient with us if we missed your comments. I think we got them all.
There's another one from Scott Parker.
Okay. Did you see that one from Parker?
um,
I don't go.
I don't go because Bob and Randall Lee are prettier than me.
Say now, there's the Parker we've been yearning for.
Man, where you been, Scott? Where you been?
He's been busy, hasn't been tuning in. I'm sure he watches the replays, but we haven't had him on
Uh,
live in a while. But that's what we've been missing right there. Love it, Parker. Love it, love it, love
goodness
it.
gracious.
Good to see you again, brother. Hope everything's going well with you up here in the great state of Illinois.
Yeah, hope you're doing well. That's great. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, I was just curious to pose the question, and um, I'll go back to my usual different questions next week. But I just because this came up, so
Well, that
said
was a
last
good
week
one.
I was
I
going
like
to
that.
pose it.
I like that one. Yeah, we love you too, Mr. Parker. We'll call him Mr. Parker for that one.
Mr. Parker, we got to be respectful for being saying something nice like that. And we'll have to send
Right.
a check in the mail too, and that's always a hassle. But you got to
Oh
do it.
my goodness. Yeah. Hey, it ain't cheap sending stuff out anymore. All right. I think we covered all of them, Randy. I
Very
don't
good.
see
Thank
any
you,
more
guys.
on
Thank you.
any of my three
Yep.
screens that I have up here. Scanning through them real quick. All right, let's go ahead and move along to the one that I have for you today. And another thought provoking. If you were attending an event and the event was asking for donations, goods and or monetary, how likely would you be compelled to donate? If it was a children's charity that would be the beneficiary, would that up the chances you would give? As clauses, do you give to a charity on a regular, seasonal, or annual basis? There's kind of three parts there to that. If you were attending an event and the event was asking for donations, goods, and or monetary, how likely would you be compelled to donate? If it was a children's charity, would that up the ante? And as clauses, do you give on a regular basis to a charity, seasonal, or annual?
Good questions. Good questions. Yeah, I mean, I do on an annual basis to certain charities, but they're not a children's charity. I do it for another thing. But if it was a donation thing, I know I was going to say, yeah, I would bring like and I think I've only had to do it once, maybe, and I can even remember. And I would bring a little toy for the child if it's a donation. Then Santa should bring something like that. You don't have to bring a check or cash. Bring like you're coming early for Christmas and bringing a toy. I think that's a good idea, especially if it is to benefit children. What's better than giving some type of a toy? They don't cost much nowadays. You can get them, even if it's a teddy bear or something or a stuffed animal. It just would be to show that you did bring something, and I think that's a good one. But yeah, I do a charity, but every year, but not it's not a doesn't associate with Christmas.
Well, and now I'm going to throw this one at everyone. It's similar but different. Toys for Tots. My second year, I was Toys for Tots Santa for this side of Dallas County, and I had a friend of mine that I've known for years and years and years. Used to race with. He was pit crewman for one of the top racing teams, and he wanted to have a Toys for Tot party for his daughter. And they had 40 something people there, and he asked each one of them to bring a toy or monetary to give to Toys for Tots, to give to me as Santa to take to the donation center, which that particular night he booked it on that night specifically because they were in his neck of the woods. The One of our local TV stations participates in that, Fox 4, and they had their personalities out there collecting in a collection center on air. And so we filled up the back of our van with the things that they donated, took them down to the harbor at Lake Ray Hubbard there, and went through the line, dressed as Santa and Mrs. Claus, and opened up the trunk, started donating. They tried to get us to stick around for the next live moment, but I had another gig I was headed to, so my time was very limited, so I didn't get to stay. Well, what that led to was the next year, my son and daughter-in-law actually did that gig and got on air, and our granddaughter was there, and my wife and my daughter and son-in-law were all there. But anyway, our granddaughter got on air with my son and my daughter-in-law, so it was pretty cool. But anyway, that's another way to look at it. It's like for Toys for Tot. It's an annual event. Most folks try to give something there. We always do. All right, let's pick up Santa Tom High is with us on YouTube. Let's pick up some of his comments over here. He's thrown several at us already. Uh, so the first SOS I did in Branson, Missouri, we went to a buffet and one of the little kids come up to me and asked me who the real Santa was. I told him I can't tell him. That's back towards your question, Randy. This one just came
Yeah,
in a little bit late.
good.
And that's true. We all go to that buffet and it does make a splash. It's the Grand Country buffet there, and it's a big buffet. Lots of folks there every time you go. Okay, what time you go during the day, lunch, dinner. and children seem to flock towards the area that they put us in, just like you spoke about, Randy. So up in Bellhorn says, I have a set children's charity that I do my donations to, and several volunteers visit, or I feel very strongly about this specifically. And that's good, Ben. That's exactly what we're talking about. Either as a performing Santa, having a set charity that you work with each year, year in and year out, and or just sporadic donations through the year. I mean, you could even go as far as say as clean your closet out, and you got some children, you got children items, children's clothes, children's toys that your children have outgrown, giving those to somewhere like Goodwill, or Helping Hands, or someone who could use the donations there. So there's a broad spectrum of places that you can give throughout the year. But as Santas, being Goodwill ambassadors, and uh, it's all about giving for Santa. I just think that that's something that we all could do a little bit, throughout the year, maybe especially July, November, and December, to help out some of these charities that need it, because they do work off donations. Back to Santa Tom says, but it's the one with the twinkle in his eyes. The little boy went around to the restaurant looking at all the Santas and came back to me and said, I think you're the real Santa. I went to nod it and went on his way. So he went to Tom because, and again, pardon?
He winked, nodded.
He winked and nodded. So, again, the little boy went up to Tom for a reason, because that's usually the case. If they come to you, you stood out in the crowd of other Santas, and they're addressing you. And Tom kind of threw him a loop. He says, well, I can't tell you, but look around. And the one with the twinkle, and he looked and didn't see anybody else with a more twinkle than Tom had. So he went back to Tom, told Tom he thought he was a real one. Tom handled that perfectly, wink and a nod, and the little boy went away, and he's going to tell everybody for the rest of his life he met the real Santa. And how cool is that for a little one? I'm going to catch Ben's over here again real quick. You have to be very careful, because you could give away everything you make to the charities, because they're all looking for a Santa. This is true too. Again, when we think about charity work, it comes in many different fashions. And if you give or donate your time as a working Santa, professional Santa, to an event, be careful. Make sure that that is the charity that you want your name attached to. Be sure to do the research to make sure that they're worthy of your time and effort, and make sure that they're not paying other vendors or other folks to attend and just want Santa for free. Because if the sound guy gets paid, or the DJ karaoke guy gets paid, the buffet, the folks who buffet the food in get paid, why can't Santa get paid? At least pay for your immediate expenses, gas, and something. It doesn't have to be a lot, but anything would help. Good point, Ben. Yes, Tom says winked and nodded. Fantastic, Tom. All right, let's go over here to Facebook and pick up some of these now.
I think it starts with Parker Odell.
May not really due to financial reasons. I give to a lot as regular Parker in Gatlinburg. I try to help with whatever I can. The Gatlinburg Children's Home and Santa America are charities near and dear to my heart. Good point, Parker. Odell. Santa Doug says we give regularly. We also donate our time to a couple of organizations for them to use us for fundraisers. So that's double whammy there. They're giving, and then they're also doing fundraisers, donating their time. Scott Parker says, I set a limit for the charity events that I'm doing now. You just do all of them. You just can't do all of them. Sad but true, because it is a business. Very true, because we do have expenses. Again, even if they just pay for your gas and just a small donation, $20, $25, just to get you there to take care of what you have. That way you're not out of any pocket. They're getting out light because they're not having to pay your regular fee of 150, 250, whatever it may be for your time.
Yeah.
Santa Rex Ray says, I have certain charities I support every year, all year long, with my time, talent, and financially. And that goes double for him, because not only does he do that as Santa, he also does it within his community. He serves many different factors within his community, and he's always given not only of his time, but even sometimes of his money. Great point, Rex. Hello, Patrick Moss. Good to see you, brother. Doug Wright, I do give back as often as I can during the season at the events like you have mentioned, Bob. I have told my contact at the event no prior to that I'm going to donate my time today so that you can raise more for your cause. I have also had Mrs. Claus give a check, or if they are doing a basket giveaway or will bid to win, then redonate the gift so that they can raise more funds. We also have donated what the group is collecting as well, food, toys, etc., or even a free home visit. Those are all great points. The one point out of there that stands out the most is charity. If excuse me, if you're doing a charity event and that charity uh, is using you as a performer, you can always have them write you or pay you for your time, your regular fee. Then you turn right around as soon as they hand it to you and turn around and redonate that back to their charity. That way it's a double whammy. Everybody wins and you both have a paper trail as far as taxes go to show that you gave to charity. The Santa charity at his time, and then Santa turns around and gives it back to the charity of the cause.
That's great. That's a cool idea just to do that. That saves yeah.
So AJ says, Bob, you got to wait and see who's Jessica's photo she's doing until Branson. Okay. I noticed that Thomas Sharon had worked on AJ's beard and hair set that Daniel Cartwright gave to him, one of my brothers here in the Dallas area. Donated a used set to AJ so that he can perform this next year. Parker Odell says verify every charity. Make sure they are not scammers by or fly by night operations. That was one of the points that I had made. Parker, great point. Again, do your due diligence. Make sure that what you're giving your time or you're giving your funds or products or whatever it may be that you're donating, that charity or that event is worthy of and is on the up and up. Great points, great points, great points. All right, man, that was fantastic. I think we've covered them all. I don't see any more in YouTube. I don't see any more on Facebook. So are we ready to get into the
Fantastic. Yes, it's that time already.
SantaClausNet.org? Do a trivia
Yes.
here.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live, the show about nothing. Season 3 of Bob Randyl and Company Live is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Just as we went away, we've got a few more that popped in here real quick, Randy. So let's go ahead and address them. That way we don't get those mixed up with our trivia answers. Santa Tom High says again, on Crinkle Tracker, I send a bill with 100% discount. That's a way of tracking your expenses for tax purposes. Verified charity, Tom says. Ben Bellhorn says, I'm going to have to let somebody else win the trivia this night week. I can't search, drive, and type all at the same time. Okay. He must be out being mobile right now. Good point, Ben. Keep you on the road, brother.
Yeah, don't do all at the same time.
Yeah. Scott Parker says, our winged sprint car was sponsored by Royal Purple Oil Company. I'm working on a costume magic sponsorship for all my suits. Never hurts to ask. Wait, Scott is a big guy It's just my hurt.
Just like her.
This just may hurt. Laugh out loud. Yes, exactly. Steve Kinley says Riverview Hospital in Vancouver. That must be one of the charities that he gives to or works for.
The trivia.
Oh, you already got it up there? Oh, okay. Duh. She had it up and I wasn't paying attention. Well, go ahead and read it anyway, Randy.
All righty. The question is, everybody, here it is. Where were the majority of the interior shots of Elf filmed, including Hobbs' apartment, the orphanage, and Greenway's press? We need the name and location of where that was done. So where
Man,
was
oh man,
where
did I
were a
mess that one
major?
up? Not really, because he already had the answer. So
Yeah, that was a quick answer. Well, you've made them easier now. Those blanks and blanks and blanks are rougher for people. There's those blanks are
well,
rough, but this is a straight answer. So, yep, where was the majority of the interior shots of Elf filmed? You know,
I
it's a
did.
classic movie. We all know those cute little things. Of course, it is kind of weird that it did Hobbs Apartments, the orphanage, and Greenway Press all in the same building. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. But Steve, well, somebody's got the.
Steve put it up first there, the best I can tell. Yes, Vancouver, British Columbia. All right. That
Bingo.
was fast. Yeah, I haven't had any complaints on the trivia, but uh, it was set behind the scenes. A couple of people said, "Well, they sure have gotten hard lately." I mean, it's not really a complaint more than a statement, and all the blanks are, kind of confusing. And I was mixing questions too. See, I really got tricky because these guys have gotten so good at it, right? So I
Oh,
would
so
take
good.
and blend two or three trivias together. That way they couldn't find it just one source or just one little spot they had to read on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've simplified them, so I hope everyone's more happy. And it seems to be that folks are able to jump in a lot quicker there.
Well,
So
Steve is a new Santa this year. He's never done Santa before. He was a photographer at a big box store that I was at and got inspired. And so Steve, in fact, he was up at the reindeer farm a week or so ago. And so it's very
that's
good.
that's a
Very good.
that's a feel good story. I like that.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. Steve looks good. His beard's looking good. He had it bleached. He's got pretty much white anyway, but he had it bleached in, so it's looking good. He's got to put a little bit more around the belly, but Steve's doing all right.
That's right. He put that on with a few cookies.
That's right.
That's
It's just a easy padding, no problem. But that's great.
uh
He's the same thing. He'll be at CW Howard. He's so excited about going there. So yeah, good, good, good.
Cool stuff. I like those kind of stories. All right, Angie, are you ready to play the
Yes.
video promo? All right, here we go. All right, that is our new contributor to all of our TNL platform, our TNL network that we put together. Talbot Insurance Services has made it possible to blend all these shows together under one caption, TNL Network Promotions. And we sure do appreciate him. If you need insurance, I don't know if I've got a frog in my throat today, guys. The heat got to me yesterday. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sure it was that. As long as you're
Yep.
outside doing that stuff, yeah.
Larry Talbot, fellow Santa, insurance for Santas. He can take care of all your Santa business, your home, your auto, bundle it all. One thing that Larry done, and he was on our show the last, well, we've had him on the show numerous times, but last season, the season before last, he had talked about how all of the other insurance companies was not covering your suits. and the things that you use to perform as Santa. They only would cover, the standard things that they've always covered. And so he went out as an insurance man of 30, 40 years, whatever it's been, most of his life. His father was an insurance agent. So it runs in the family. But anyway, he put together, talked to the different underwriters and came up with a policy for just a few bucks more that actually covers everything. So if you're in the market for Santa insurance, reach out to Larry Talbot. He can be found on Facebook or Talbot Insurance Services in Georgia. Okay, Randy, let's go ahead and jump into our Elf and Chatterbox news for the day. The drawing for the School of Santa's 2024 scholarship was held this last Tuesday during the TNL show. That was a $459 value, and the congratulations go out to Larry D. Davis here in North Texas, one of our new Santas that just started last year. And him and Sherry attended not only School of Santas last year, they also came to our event, North Pole Cornerstones in San Antonio, and they have just really been soaking up everything they could. Such a lovely couple, and congratulatory goes out to him, Larry D. Davis here in North Texas. All right, we got a little tidbit of some fresh news here. SNHU, that is Santa Nana's Holiday University, has announced that they will be in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona, for a class down there September 26th through the 29th. So if you're in the West, in the South, or just like to travel, and you're going to be in the Scottsdale, Arizona area around September 26th through the 29th, and would be interested in taking Santa Nana Holiday University, go over to their website at santananas.com and get signed up. Great class to take. Judith Broderick, Deanna Golden, and it's not just for ladies. Men get as much out of it as the ladies do.
Yeah, don't just because it says it's Santa Ana University doesn't mean it's only just for. I went to the one a month or so ago, and it was fantastic. It really, so it's they do a great job. Deanna and Judith, they do a great job. So don't miss doing it. Don't miss doing it.
Miss doing it. All right, Randy, let's go ahead and jump here, talk about School of Santa's 2024. It's coming up in 5 weeks. I said 5 weeks last week and went back and counted the calendar, doggone if it wasn't 6. So I misspoke again like I like to do. And so we're now 5 weeks away from that coming up. Of course, Jeff McMullen, Santa Mac, Rango University, will be there. I spoke to Spangle day before yesterday. He's got 124 people signed up.
Wow.
Doesn't mean all 124 is going to show, because sometimes you have cancellations for one reason or another. But those are all folks that have reserved their seat with a retainer, and some, of course, have paid in full. But that's not counting those of us in the staff, the kitchen help, and Scott, myself, and Jessica. That's just the folks who have paid to attend the school. So it's going to be action-packed, probably be around 140-ish. Maybe 150 people there total. Always fun. Last Wednesday night now on the TNL network here on the Tuesday Night Live group and Facebook, as well as YouTube, we debuted a brand new show. Tell them about it, Randy.
Oh man, last Wednesday night, these guys was great. They just went through, they started talking about what they're going to talk about, and they kind of laid the groundwork about what's going to be coming up, because they both have great Santa minds, and besides a great Santa heart, Michael Howe and Michael Herbie, the elf brewer, Pringle brothers, they just they will. I especially like Michael's schematic thing. I think it's what it's called. How it makes circles and everything comes back together to the heart. I think it's and there's so many segments, which is what they're going to be talking about and teaching on for a little while. It's a great thing. Besides, they're just fun. They just make me smile.
And that graphic shows how all those things are linked together.
Yeah.
From side to side, up and down, and all around that heart. I mean, if you hadn't had a chance to check that graph out, just go over and look at that alone. I mean,
yeah,
that was phenomenal.
So it's don't miss. It's a free show by Tuesday Night Live Productions. So it's a free one again, guys. More education, more fun, more laughter, more fellowship. Another vision of other Santas that have traveled and taught at many different schools. So they're don't miss on Wednesday nights. Then
Well, I
Thursday
was so
night.
wrapped up in the show, Randy. I took a lot away from it when it was live, but I went back later that night and got in my easy chair and put it up on my 70 plus
Mhm.
inch screen and rewatched it. I was laughing so hard, I think I woke the whole house up. It was hilarious. The more I would listen, the more I would hear, the more I would laugh, and it was just a fantastic show. We're so happy to have those guys being
Yeah.
able to bring a new concept of learning, teaching through the Tuesday Night Live network productions, and gonna be fun. Gonna be fun.
Again, 7 o'clock Central and 8 o'clock Eastern time. On of course, it's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. Of course, it's run by StreamYard too. But it's but Tuesday night. It's just one more night of hooking up with your fellow holiday performers, and
And
that
and in
they
their
are
defense,
performers, and that's what's good about. They both are performers, so they
yeah.
understand the heart of Santa, but they also understand the entertainment business.
And to their defense, we were working last week doing tests to see if we could push out, with again back to the old adage, we had to keep harping on this, but with everything that Facebook is doing to try to cut out third parties and all this stuff with StreamYard, and I don't know, but we were doing tests and somehow or another the times got crossed up, and so it showed on YouTube it was supposed to air at 6. It showed on Tuesday Night Live Facebook page it was supposed to air at 8, and that was actually Central Time. I mean, so it was kind of mixed up, and people were having trouble getting in. But I think that got all the bugs worked out. Of course, you're going to have little things like it happen when you launch something new. So just be patient, guys, and let them work through the bugs, and just show up on time. And if it doesn't pop up in the Kringle Brothers Facebook page or the Tuesday Night Live page, try one or the other, or go to YouTube. YouTube is always, I mean, no matter what happens, YouTube has been solid. We haven't had any trouble with YouTube. Comments work great. Videos are always there on time. Everything works good there. It's an issue between StreamYard and Facebook that's popped up, and uh, yeah, I don't know. I, I would just wish they'd leave well enough alone. Everything was working fine until they started messing with it.
Yeah, they probably wanted so much more money in there, just or something. Yeah, it had to be some other deal.
Yeah, you see that. You see that a lot.
Yeah, so I'm sorry to say that. That's probably the root of all evil sometimes. But then Thursday night, don't forget, don't miss Santa's Magical Fellowship Group. Mel's been doing this for years now on Thursday nights, but now they're double teaming on Thursday nights, which is great. The first and third Thursdays of the month is Erica Mitten, which is Wingnut. Wingnut's got a kind of a off-center um, look at a lot of stuff when she plays her Wingnut character. She does a great Mrs. Claus too. Of course, Roger is her husband that does Kringle Tracker, and he's a Santa. So she's got a well-rounded. Besides, she performs like crazy and all that all over the place. So they're double dipping on the first and third Thursday of the month. Then the other second and fourth is Shaun White, the vintage Santa, vintage Mrs. Claus, not Santa, vintage Mrs. Claus, that has just a great thought process about definitely about marketing, about internet and all that kind of stuff, and getting your name out there and things like that. You got to listen to Shaun, and she's got a great sense of putting things together. I was talking to her a couple weeks ago and made a comment about how many outfits she goes. She goes, I really don't have that many outfits. I have one. I just know how to switch things around. It's like, wow, it shows you how much I know. I just, but she has that vision and she's been works with a lot of different Santa Clauses. So she has good variety. Besides, she does an awful lot by herself, which is great to hear. So it's Mel's Fellowship, which is Santa's Magical Fellowship, which you can do Who's My Line on it. You can just chit chat. They can have a special guest first when Mel hosts it. The best thing is when she goes, does the the whose line is it anyway, or whatever that she does the class, and she just picks on people and she pulls a thing and does improv or questions right there. It's so much fun. It's so much fun with your fellow Santas, Mrs. Clauses, and elves. It's that gets it started, and then the ladies are going to take over. Thank
And
goodness
just
for
to
the
add to
ladies.
that, this is the second week of the month. So this week will be Sean White. So you want to tune in directly after Mel's fellowship, runs about an hour, and then Sean will be on her show.
It's,
All powered by TNL Network Productions.
and all boom, boom, boom. Free guys, always. And that's always. I know you guys are tired of hearing the free word, but it's just amazing how many people out there would love to give our time and effort to connect, because it is such a great industry. It is such a great fellowship. So it's thank you everybody that participates, and you guys are here participating. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
We love to give. We love to give. Okay, let's move along to the TNL upcoming guests and shows. You know, you mentioned that Mel had been doing the fellowship. Started back early 2021. TNL, the Tuesday Night Live show and the first Monday show started in early 2021. Well, Kimmy Claus is our guest this next week, tomorrow night. That's right. The Peppermint Stick Report also started back in 2021 during the summer. And that's a cool little deal that her and Diane Vian is the co-host on that many nights. I don't know if she's the one that's on there every week, but I do know that she's on quite a bit. She'll be on this next week on, I guess tonight, you would say, Peppermint Stick Report. So tune in on that. North Post Sisters private Facebook group, no man allowed there. But tomorrow night, all is welcome, and we'll have Kimmy Claus on tomorrow night to tell everything about the Peppermint Stick Report, how she got started.
She's very nervous, so she's very nervous about being on tomorrow night. So
she's going to be fine.
She'll be fine. I told her she'll be
she
fine.
is so bubbly, so nice, so kind. We can't wait to have her on.
Yeah,
All right, I'm going to let you take it from there, Randy.
Yeah, then on June 18th, it'll be the middle of June, guys. Middle of June it'll be. Santa David and Phineas. Of course, Mike, the elf, talk about being a duo of Santa and an elf, and so many things that the elf does compared to what Mrs. Claus can do or does, how they work together, things they've done. We've got two super professional entertainers that Phineas is phenomenal. Man, Mike makes me smile. I hope he brings his guitar too to play a little bit. So, but that's Santa David and Phineas the elf talking about how that duo, that combination works different than Santa and Mrs. Claus, or of course, way different than working alone. Of course, Phineas also does a lot of things alone also, and so does David, but they mainly work as a team, which is, man, the when you work together together with somebody on a regular basis, the chemistry can just work, and it just can become flawless and seamless. And I know they'll talk about that, about how it is with them for working together for a while. So, and then how that benefits the children. And then
Yes, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be great to see. And then, of course, July 9th is going to be Head Elf Mitch Allen from Hire Santa. Everybody knows Hire Santa out of Texas. Mitch is going to talk about, his Google Calendar connection, which I think is a neat thing that he wants to sync up with Santa's to connect with your Google Calendar if you use it. He'll see that he'll just put your name in. Oh, he sees you're already booked on December 3rd. No sense in asking. No sense in sending an email. He already sees you're booked. Or you're not. He'll send a thing to see if you're available. So it's a really neat thing that he's connecting with. He'll tell you more about it. To me, that's very simplistic what I said. So, but he'll talk about that. Of course, the opportunities, what's coming up ahead for Hire Santa in the holiday season. You know, he hires thousands and thousands of Santas. A lot of Santas throughout the season, anywhere from just breakfast with Santa to big box stores to international and everything else. So if you Mitch has been on quite a few times, but he's always got something new, and you shouldn't miss his state of the season address every Thursday. So it's always good to hear what's going on with him and his company. So don't miss that on the 9th.
Well,
Then
and he wants to talk about the SWAT team Santas and
SWAT team
Weekend
Santa, that's
Warriors.
right.
These are new things he's got working. So gonna
Yeah,
be a
Weekend
fun show.
Warriors are cool thing. And Weekend Warriors, he'll talk about how that works, that you're available for that. That's a cool thing, what he calls it. So I feel like you should be wearing camo or something, you know? I like that. And then you did say 5 weeks, and it is 5 weeks now. But then on July 16th, it will be Branson preview show. Again, there's always so many things to talk about for there, from 2 3 days beforehand to two days or so, 3 days, whatever it is after. Spangle puts together a lineup that just exhausts you to think about, and you guys will go through it, go through all the instructors, and of course we know Jeff McMullen's going to be the keynote speaker, and you can talk forever about him and his accomplishments to know that what a great instructor he's going to be. So don't miss the 16th of July on Tuesday Night Live for that one. Wow.
Yeah, and we thought maybe, when we first started talking about doing the Branson Live, which is something that we've done each year with Jessica, Rosa, and Spangle, because they're the two that, put on the School of Santas primarily, with a whole host of folks helping. But we thought Jeff might come in on a Tuesday, but Jeff's not going to be able to come in until Wednesday. So what we've done, we've decided Rick and Judy Maynard is coming in on Tuesday morning or Monday afternoon. So we've asked them to join us for that Tuesday night on the 16th in Branson. So we'll talk about everything School of Santas, and then we'll do the second half of the show or more with Rick and Judy Maynard as our featured guest to round out the show. It'll be fun.
Wow.
Now we've
Wow.
got a couple of open dates in there. I know that everyone has noticed. If because of the storms in Texas, we did not do a show week before last, and so Megan from Gig Salad has been on vacation since, and we've reached out to her. She's supposed to get back with us towards the end of this week, middle of the end of this week, and let us know if either one of those two open dates will work for her. If they will, we're going to fill one of those with her. And Dr. Bruce Garin Kotovich has reached out. He's, his time is limited because he is so busy during the school year as a professor, as a doctor. So right now is his off time. So we're going to try to get him on for the other date. So we're just waiting to find out which one Megan's going to take. And I'll reach back out to Dr. Bruce and see if we get him on. He's got some new stuff he wants to talk about too. So
Wow.
all
Just
that
listen
coming
to
up
his
and
voice.
more.
Always something, always fantastic. And listen to Bruce's voice. It just kind of, yeah,
I know.
Bruce, love you. Can't help it. He's right across the border there in Windsor. It's fantastic.
Yep. All right, Randy, let's
Good.
talk about this trivia answer.
Yeah. Okay. The answer. Let's do the question again. Where were the majority of the interior shots of Elf filmed, including Hobbs' apartment, the orphanage, and the Greenway Press? We needed the two things. Needed the name and location. The name is Riverview Hospital, and it was in Vancouver, British Columbia.
That's right. It's a shuttered mental institution that they
Shuttered
had there
mental.
where that was filmed at.
That's crazy. Like I said, it's crazy to think that the apartment, which is just the apartment, the orphanage look, and the Green Press all was filmed in that building. Nothing looks like a mental institution at all, which is
No,
really, really unique.
yeah, that was a pretty cool one. When I ran across it, I said, "That's it. That's the one for Monday right there."
Yeah.
And of course, we know who our winner was, right?
Yes.
Mr.
See?
Kinley. That's correct.
Wow.
All right,
Fantastic.
and I do not think I have his address. Steve, if you will, brother, send me a private message with your mailing address so I can get that over to Wade Kaufman at santascloset.org and get you your gift coming towards your way. Yeah, it would be greatly appreciated. And I know you'll enjoy whatever Santa Wade sends that to you. He's always got something good going. in the mail. So fantastic. Randy, I'm
It's
feeling
that
I'm
time
feeling a little
already.
I'm feeling a little tipsy from all the heat yesterday. Can you fix me up?
I'll do what I can do.
Let's do some Santa
Here we
tips then.
go.
That
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me at Santa's Tips again. You guys, I am just so blessed and honored that you be a part of this again. Just a couple things that I want to show you for some other magic props that are fun to carry around. I've got a couple different sizes. You can use for they're the same prop, just different sizes. You can use them for different things. If you're doing some type of performance, in fact, Michael and Herbie said it the other day on their show on the new Kringle Time that they actually at their Wolf Lodge, they actually do a show for the families. They have 75, 80, 100 children sitting and watching a performance. So this is something you can do. The bigger prop use there, or even the bigger prop is always also good to take at um, a uh, a house visit or something like that. And I'll explain it when we do it. But it actually is. This I use as a centimeter. Of course, is a naughty or nice one. You can do that if you want to. You tell the children, and there's always a treat if you're nice, and you tell the children you can put your name in there, and you pretend you're typing their name and everything else, and then you ask them if they've been naughty or nice, and you open it up. And now this actually, I have a little. You can put pretty much anything in here. What this is just the beads that you can turn into the little tiny puppy dogs. And then, so you can use this as a double. You're doing magic with it. You're letting them know they're nice because there's a gift that came out. But then you also take it a step further and you can teach them how to make the little tiny twist bead animals. So that's always a good one to do it this way. Or if you want to, it's use the same thing. You can show it empty. You show it empty. You close it up. Lovely. You do the centimeter and you tell the children. And you slide it open and you can slide it open. I know you can slide it open. Maybe you can't slide this one open. Come on, Santa. There we go. Slide it open. Too many candy canes in it. Just fill it with candy canes. Or if you don't want to put candy canes in it, put coins. It's always a good thing. Then what they've done is you've let them know that they've been good and everything else. But it's called a drawer box. I know Spangle has them, on his site and a couple other magic places. But I just took and added a few little things to make it look a little bit more, and I can add a bigger story to it by being either a naughty or a nice information. And it's just then, especially these, I just love making these because it takes one more step, especially at a home visit. Then the children can make something and keep. So it's a drawer box. They're small ones. You can get inexpensive for 10 to 15 to 20. Now the bigger one is really cool. It's definitely a magic trick that magicians use, but definitely love to use it for when it's for children. To produce, let's say, oh my goodness, I must have missed a toy. You give out the gifts and I must have missed a toy, and so you do a little magic. Or I always like to bring a fun magic wand along with the children, because everything to make a child giggle a little bit is always worth it. So you have a child, this is a spring wand, so you have a child wobble it, and you just add one more thing to make the child giggle or laugh or interact with the child. And I said, back to the box. Then you open it up and it's filled with toys that you forgot. Or if you just want to produce, or if you have 100 children, you want to produce candy canes out of here. You have a very large production. It's called a drawer box. Again, local magic store sells them. It's you can show it empty. It's It's a little tiny drawer that slides back in, and I can't get it up high enough there. Slides back in and out. Most people know how that works, but it can be used for multiple things, especially if you're doing a show. Since Michael and Herbie said they do shows like that, maybe other Santas do too. And if not, you bring this along to the house and you do that one little, Santa forgot a gift. Boom, you can magically produce it here. It adds a little bit more magic, a little bit more entertainment, a little bit more fun. You can design it however you want to. These are just stickers I just put on. And again, I just love the wand. I always do a special thing, and I always say, "Oh, Bernard the elf. Oh, he was so excited. He said, I made a new magic wand, Santa. I've made a new magic wand, and it's gonna give all the children their dreams come true." Oh, and of course, as Santa, you're very excited to know that all children's dreams will come true if you just wave the magic wand. And Bernard's giggling a little bit, and of course, Santa's wondering why he's giggling at the magic wand, because it's a magic wand to make the children happy, not to giggle. So he goes, "Oh, Santa, wave it," and of course you wave it, and of course you giggle too. And the story about Bernard teasing you all the time, and that he better not tease Mrs. Claus, because of course Mrs. Claus doesn't like to be teased. But one more thing to make the show. This is just a spring, but you can buy these online at a magic store, or if you want to do it, you paint it red with white and make it more holiday looking instead of a magician's magic wand. But it's those one little step further that we can take the belief, the fun with the children, and let them have fun and interact. And that's what I like to do. Just take it one step further, especially with a little drawer box. Instead of just passing out the candy, instead of just passing out the coins, do a little magic along with it, and let them, then they get involved with it a lot more. And that just adds one more, like we said earlier, the children are growing up way too fast. They stop believing so soon, and that's just sad. I mean, you just want to get that one more year out of the child to believe and to hold that love in their heart about Santa and the magic of the holiday and everything else. And if we can add a little bit of magic and everything else to that, that's our job. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we have to do. That's what we're. But again, give it a try. They're called drawer boxes. They're all kinds of sizes and of course all kinds of price ranges. But Michael Howe has one drawer box the same size as this. He had when he was still at his school, and the students painted it, a custom paint job. It's beautiful custom paint job on it. So you can do anything you want to. Make it special, customize it for you. And that's the salesmanship part of it, because I always say you're selling yourself, even though you're selling Santa. You want to get rebooked again next year. That's why do that little extra to make sure that they don't forget you. They don't forget the magic of Christmas. They don't forget that smile. They don't forget any of that. That then when they left, they know that Santa was smiling and Santa brought magic to their hearts, and Mrs. Claus did too. We know you all do. Thank you again. I just am so blessed and thankful to be able to do this and to bend your ear every week. Thank you so much. You're on the mute there, Mr. Bob. There we go. There you go.
Normally it unmutes after you get through. But anyway, great stuff as always. You know, the one thing there though, Randy, that little box, the second one that you had, maybe could use a little 3-in-1 oil or
Yeah, I think it needs a little oil. It's sticking in there. Yeah, it's sticking.
lithium grease or some bacon grease or something on there to make it.
Ooh, bacon grease. I like that idea. It'll smell good. Besides, the prop will smell good. Besides, yeah, that one was sticking.
Yeah. Let's see. I got several things here I need to grab real quick.
I have a little tab to make sure I hold it so it doesn't mix. But thank goodness, little tab to hold it. But well, it needs that, like you said, needs a little grease job.
All right, so Santa Tom High, of course, says this is his favorite section. He said that before. He's
Thank
still
you,
a
Tom. Thank
staunch
you.
believer in your tips and your magic and all the things you do, which is fantastic. Tom, I got to agree with you on that free part. I'm not going to get into it too deep here, but I did see your comment, and you're right. It's never free. Let's see what else we got here. That's correct, Tom. the Kringle brothers have their own Facebook group page, as well as their own YouTube channel, and they will be simulcasting through Tuesday Night Live Facebook also. And if we get to the point where we can afford to upgrade our StreamYard one more time, which again we've mentioned this many times, there are costs associated. But if we can go to the next level, we can even push out to further platforms, and we could have it on all platforms across the board, including TNL, YouTube, Bob and Randall YouTube, as well as the Tuesday Night Live, the Kringle Brothers, both of their channels. We're limited to 3 now. If we go to the next, we get like 5 or 10. I don't remember. We definitely could do that. Okay, Rex Ray, yes, Rex, I would still love to do a segment on or a show on racing Santas, and of course you would be part of that show because of your expertise and all the good stuff you did when you was in the racing community. And of course, Scott Parker, again, when he was living here in Dallas, he worked with a young lady that was a sprint car racer, and they were racing some of the big time races. And Scott was part of that team. Would love to have him on. That's something I'll have to try to work on and get some of us guys that have the racing background together and put together some pictures and
Wow.
have a show. That's something Randy mentioned last year. So Rex had not forgot about it. All right, one last thing before we move along. This one here touches my heart dearly. Ernie Rizzo. Just wanted to share that yesterday, June 9th, he lost his mother. She was an inspiration to me and absolutely loved Christmas. I called her my Tanta Kringle. Ernie, we're so sorry, brother. That's one of the hardest hits you can have when you lose your mom. You know, your mom and dad are both special to you in many, many ways, but mom has a connection of she carried you for 9 months and she was always there when you needed her, when you was feeling bad or if you were sick or if you were down in the dumps. Mom's always there for you, and moms are very, very, very dedicated and special ladies. And one of the hardest moments of my life is when I lost my mom and stood there holding her hand when she passed. So my condolences to you, brother. Everyone, please pray for Ernie for strength. Those are tough, man. Okay, let's. I think I got everything covered. Did I miss anything, Angela?
Just a couple of the ones on Facebook here.
Gary Linder talking about the magic box that he uses at his home every home visit.
And then box screen.
Yeah. Doug Wright says I've seen the little box, love the large one. I have to check into that.
Santa Mark loves the Monday.
Santa Mark loves your Monday tips. Randy, also another good comment there for that. AJ says so sorry for your loss, Ernie. Ernie says thank you to everyone. Again, brother, we're with you here.
Prayers, Ernie. Prayers, man. Sorry.
And then there's one more from Tom on YouTube now.
Yeah, well, yeah, Tom, they do. I mean, any form of motorsports, to me. And Tom's question is, excuse me. Do monster trucks and or mud boggers count in racing? They do. They absolutely do. Any form of motorsports, and you're involved in any form of motorsports and wants to be on a special edition Monday show where we talk about racing and our racing backgrounds, reach out to me. Let me know and let's see if we can put a show together doing that. I would love to do that. It'd be so much fun. Of course, for years and years and years, that was my passion. And I knew that when I retired from racing, it was going to be a sad day. It was going to be a hole left in my being because I lived it and spent so many hours dedicated to working on a car, trying to help promote the sport, working on other folks' cars, trying to help other drivers with the experience that I had. Same type of stuff I do in the Santa community, but in racing. And the cool part is uh, now I'm Santa performer and get to do the same types of things. So that hole got filled really quick. And you know, I got to say they're both a lot of work, but at least I can do this one where there's air conditioning. The other one, the heat was another factor when it comes to racing and 3-layer fire suits and working in a hot garage till wee hours in the morning trying to get the car ready, and all things we'll talk about on an upcoming show, special edition on a
And
Monday.
at least you won't crash in your chair. That's the big thing. You're not going to crash in
Yeah,
your chair right now. You really won't.
if I do, I'm sure it won't hurt near as bad. At least
Yes.
I hope.
Oh, not nearly as bad. Yeah.
I've had some tough crashes and I got hurt, a couple of times, and you know it's a chance you take. But we'll talk about more about that when we do a show. Let's go on now and get into the
Hey,
nightcaps. This week's nightcaps is the Naughty List. Is the name of the book. This was one that Doug and Diane Wright talked about in their show on the Tuesday Night Live show. Uh, I thought it was a really cool book. I had seen it before. There's so many children's books out there that are number one bestsellers that are short stories you can do in 5 to 7 to 10 minutes, depending on how much interaction and how much you build into the story beyond the book with the pictures. And so I thought, hey, while it was fresh on my mind, I'd debut it. So let's go ahead and run the video and we'll talk more about it on the other side. It's a fun book because it takes you back to your childhood in a way that the way that Tom tries to uh, in his letter tell Santa how or why he was bad or what he had done, and the twist that he puts on it makes you laugh. It's fun. It's funny. It teaches children naughty and nice. Again, a great little book to take. And this is one that you can take to any type of event where you can read or tell a story. Fantastic book. If you don't have it, reach out and get it. It's called The Naughty List. Holly Langsley is the author, and Laura Eady is the illustrator. And the illustrations in that one is really fun because it's done like children's Crayola
Yeah,
type
that's
of,
so cool. The
pages,
way
which
they
is
write the letters are written, and it's all in Crayola,
uh,
and the pictures are even very, very young looking. This is far more vivid on the eyes than just a pretty little picture and black
yeah.
font, you know. Um,
But it's a fun one and one that children enjoy, and I think you'll have fun taking that one to home visits or wherever you may, be able to do a short Christmas story. Only 26 pages, but again, because of the illustrations, this one could be one of those that runs into a 10-minute because you want to be sure to show all the illustrations in the book as you go. Fantastic. All right. Any other comments coming, Angie, that I have not caught?
I think we're
All right. She says we're all good. Steve Kelly,
Fantastic.
don't forget to send me your address and a PM if you have not done that yet. I see I've got a private message up there, so maybe that's it. But anyway, guys, fantastic, good show as always. Looking forward to a racing show. That's it's I've
Be
thought
fun.
about it. But we've been so busy with so many other things, but that'll be fun to put together. It's something we can work on and like I say, have anybody that's had anything to do with racing in one form or another reach out if you want to be part of that. We'll just have a big old shindig here on Monday, special edition.
Sounds great. It'd be great to hear because that's crazy. That just blows my mind, that racing bit. It
Well,
really does.
and here's what we'll do, Randy. This is a great thought, and this is something we probably need to do more often anyway, is switch seats. Yeah. You take over this side, I'll take over the other side, and we'll let you host that one, and I'll just be part of the panelists. How's that?
Yeah, you definitely be the panelist there. That'll be great. That'd definitely be. I just want to sit and listen. I'll listen and instruct it, but that's crazy. It always blows my mind. I mean, I'm not an avid watcher, but it just freaks me out to see how close everybody drives and how fast and how like
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
well,
then then you flip and flop a car and spin around 17 times and crash and okay, I'm okay, let's do it again. What? No, I'm done.
the safety that they've got built into the cars now from the time when I started back in the mid '70s is crazy. I can remember one of my first cars had an actual bucket seat from an automotive production car with the springs cut out of the bottom, so that when you sit down in it, you kind of sit down in it.
Down to like a bucket. Yeah, like way down.
And
Yeah.
then, of course, the shoulder straps and the seat belts were kind of crude compared to what we have nowadays. And uh,
Wow.
now they have purpose-built seats. We went from fiberglass seats, which I found out when one of my crashes when I hit the wall at Devil's Bow, 110 plus mile an hour, head on into the wall. The seat, the tabs that held the seat to the frame to the solid pipe actually pulled through the fiberglass. The only thing kept me from flying out of the car, of course, was my shoulder straps. That's when I messed my shoulder up so bad because it threw me in the side here, dug in, and did some damage. But nowadays, the seats are built around the driver. It's more like a cocoon, and they've got these head supports. And I can remember coming home from the races and my neck being so tired from the G forces of coming through the corners and trying to push your head off your shoulders with the helmet on and all. And anyway, let's save it for a show.
Wow,
That's just
yes,
a preview
let's
of what
do
we can
it.
talk about. I can talk all
Wow.
day about racing. All
Wow.
right, brother. Good show.
Thank you
Fantastic job,
guys.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again today. We love the fact that you take a little bit of your time out on a Monday, 3 p.m. every Monday, 3 p.m. And you know what, Randy? It's always free. We're always here
Always
for
free.
you. The TNL family is here for you. We're always here, even if it's behind the scenes. You need something, you need help with something, you got a question, need help with anything, just holler at any of us. We're all here to help. That's what we do. Randy, what you gonna do for the rest of the day, brother?
Actually, I have a MAPS event committee meeting, Zoom meeting at in an hour. So that's what I'm doing next. So we're getting the red suit conclave finalized today. So at the events committee meeting. So that's will be my next. Then I'll have dinner and probably crash.
Yeah, well, I've got to finish up the show for tomorrow night for Kimmy Claus. I'm about halfway through with it, and don't forget to tune in tonight for the Peppermint Stick Report over there on Kimmy's page, and check that out if you haven't never watched it. Go over and watch it and see what's going on. It's a good Monday afternoon place that you can land if you need to. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. Kimmy Claus is our guest. See you right back here next Monday. Everyone stay well, stay safe, be happy, and just remember, we all love you over here.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye. Have a great week.
Bye.
Stay safe.